Alright, how about I go first with the sort of explanation for where I think the inspiration for the name for the... It's cyclic, right? Because the name for Aragon being E is for dragon, right? Is what Christopher Paolini actually told me at my high school when he came to
holy
present.
shit, for real?
You didn't know about this?
I didn't know.
I didn't know E was... Well, I mean, obviously, it's called Aragon. It's obviously dragon with an E. I didn't know I knew he came to your high school. I didn't know he told you that.
No, it was like really early in his presentation. He was saying like he wrote this when he was 15, 16, and at the time he thought, if dragon is the name, then if I just switch the first letter, no one will notice and it'll be so cool as a name.
Bro, everybody noticed.
I didn't. I was 14 and I was the target audience.
Oh yeah, I guess this is
anyway,
E is for dragon. This is
E is for dragon.
An Aragon reread podcast.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm Charlie. I've been an Aragon fan since basically birth. Yeah, we've got...
You live streamed directly into Christopher Paolini's brain as an
I watched him dig that hole in his backyard.
Yeah, watch him dig that hole and make the little cover on top of it.
Yeah, we know a lot about Christopher Paolini, and Sean and I know a lot about Aragon.
Christopher Paolini, if you're listening to this,
please
we're
don't
sorry.
be listening to this. Yeah, I've read Aragon, the first book, I would say probably about 15 to 20 times. The other ones not so much. But yeah, I was extremely into these books as a like 10-year-old. Yeah, and I guess that's kind of my background. I was super obsessed with dragons, had every dragonology book available, every dragon breeding book available. Used to just steal them from people's houses, and I still have some of Connor's. Just like
you stole inheritance from Connor.
I did.
He still doesn't know.
I know. I need to confess.
And you haven't read that book either.
I haven't
You didn't even read it. You just stole it.
Yeah,
from
I've read
him.
all of them except Inheritance because it was a daunting, gigantic book that I stole from a friend and never returned. Yeah, so I guess that's kind of my history with the books.
Okay, in contrast, I'm Shan. I've been a fan of Aragon. This is like an Alcoholics Anonymous. I've been a fan of Aragon since I was in maybe year 4 or 5. For people who are in a different school system, I guess you could give some context that's when you're like, how old are you? Like 8? 8 yeah,
9,
something like that.
We're in New Zealand, by the way.
If you can't tell by the accent. I went into year 7 when I was 10.
Yeah, but you're young.
That's true.
You're like a little baby. So I guess I was 11.
Year 6 is 11.
Yeah, that feels about right. I was definitely in primary school. I have very vivid memories of talking about it with a friend from primary. And specifically, she moved house in like year 5, and it was in the new house. And this was when the first 2 were out. There was definitely, eldest was already out at that point. If this timeline doesn't make sense, no, it doesn't.
It's been a while. It's been like 10 years.
Don't call me out on it. Yeah, so I've read the first 2 definitely quite a few times. Definitely read the third one at least twice because I did a reread when the 4th one came out. And that one definitely 100%. That one came out in 2011 when I was in year 9, and I carried that huge tome. That immense, massive tome. I carried it inside my high school to read in silent reading every day for 15 minutes. And it was huge. And that's way too late to be carrying your massive dragon book to school because I was in high school. But that's okay.
Here we are.
I imagine the girls reacted poorly.
Oh, at my all-girls high school. I don't think I got much of a negative reaction to that, actually. And then afterwards, I almost immediately moved on to reading Game of Thrones, so maybe I regained a little bit of cred there. But it was, like... when did this... That must have been, like, right when the show started, so maybe I got some cred for that.
2012?
They weren't very good.
No, I tried to read the first
Hot
book of Game of Thrones. I just found them very plodding.
Yeah, they're just a bit grim.
We might not put that one. That one might not make it to the
we're cutting.
Are you going to cut my controversial opinion? Should I share some more? I hate sweet bread.
No!
I got called out at the bar yesterday when I said that.
Did Kenny insult you?
No, my friends from uni who were there, and
my
I had my
God.
very brief little convo, and I said like, "Oh, you guys gonna get the burger duo?" And we talked about it a bit, and it's like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna get it because I really hate like sweet bread products. It's my problematic opinion." And I was saying it like that, like clearly this ha ha ha, and then they were like,
And they-
"Whoa,
they
it
took it for
is, that
real?
is
Oh
your
my
problematic
God.
opinion." What about
jail?
What about donuts? I'm like, they're kind of okay. I might eat one.
All right, Nikki.
All right. I'm Nick, and I think I've read the Aragon series once. Just once. I'm not huge on rereading book series. Like, I'll have to wait a while between reads. Because I don't really like knowing what's going on, and I think it's been about 15 years since I read these books, so there's no way I know anything that's going on in these books. But I do love it a lot.
I know I just said not to call me out for my timeline, but it can't have been that long because
No.
the last one didn't come out 15 years ago.
The last one came out like a few years between.
Came out
Prison
about,
Guard, right?
about 11 years ago.
Yeah. But
The recording.
it's alright. I remember there was like a noticeable gap between
It was a
the
pretty
3
long
and 4.
gap. Yeah, well, yeah, when I went from a trilogy to a quadrology.
Well,
Is that the right word?
The last book is like the size of a loaf of bread. I can see why it took him 4 years to write it.
I was having to pare down my actual school materials to bring that with me to fit in my backpack.
After the trilogy, it turns into a cycle. I remember.
It does, it's a cycle.
Yeah. Specifically, it says on the Inheritance book.
It's a cycle, I
It's a
promise.
cycle. It was never going to be a trilogy,
It's
and even if it was,
totally a cycle.
totally a cycle.
I didn't
What does
waste
that mean?
so much time writing about Roran.
Chris, what does it mean that it's a cycle? Nothing cyclical about it. It doesn't go back to
wrong.
the beginning.
When he sees the curvature of the earth, that's
Oh.
the cycle.
The hero's journey
He
when he
does.
returns back to his home and finds that he is a changed man.
I don't remember
think he
him
comes
ever
home.
I don't know if
returning.
he ever goes back. I guess we'll
His
find
home
out.
comes to him.
Actually, I think he specifically never goes back.
Yeah, they all walk across the entire continent and are like, "Hey, Aragon, what's up?" And he's like, "Oh, holy shit, my home is gone because they're all here."
Oh, it's over.
He gets to the end. It's like, shit, where do I go
Yeah.
next?
Oh my god.
The sky.
Speaking of-
the moon in the sky.
Speaking of his home, did anyone else think that the description of his uncle was really weird?
Crazy! It's in my notes. I've got. I wrote down like a whole page of notes about how Garrow is described like a crazy person.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
let's do the summary because that stuck out to me so strongly, and I was like, "What the hell?"
Okay, can you pass the orb?
Oh, you need the orb for this?
Well, I gotta see the notes. Okay.
We will not explain what the orb is.
We're going to be reading this book 3 chapters at a time. Well, that's the plan for now.
Yeah.
This is episode 1. We're going to do 3 chapters.
We'll see. And we'll alternate who gives you a summary.
Yeah, so the first thing, I can't hold the orb and my book at the same time. Nikki, could you? Thank you so much. We are on the floor of a cupboard right now, so lighting is sparse and space is minimal. Yeah, so we start off with the prologue, which is called Shade of Fear, which I'll try not to editorialize too much. I loved it. Are you looking at my little notes?
I'm looking at your beautiful little highlighter opening.
Well, it's because this book also has a bunch of D&D notes in it from when I was actually a player and not just running. Yeah, so the prologue starts out with, I won't say his name just yet because it hasn't been revealed, but a shade. Hold on, I need to read how...
No spoilers.
No spoilers and I reread. Bro.
Minimal spoilers.
Minimal spoilers. Something really caught my eye here. It was so funny. A tall shade lifted his head and sniffed the air. He looked human, except for his crimson hair and maroon eyes.
Yes. And then the really long description of like his entire outfit and his sword and...
So funny. Yeah, so basically there's an evil entity, a shade, stalking something through the woods. He has a gang of beasts called Urgles with him, beast men, I guess. And it's a short chapter, so pretty quickly you find out that they're tracking a party of elven rangers, I think it would be fair to call them, who are carrying something kind of valuable. There's a scuffle, there's a lot of magic used, a huge amount of the forest gets set on fire. The 2 elven guards who are guarding a beautiful raven long-haired elven woman get killed, and the elven woman is knocked unconscious, but not before she teleports the blue stone that she was carrying to wherever. I guess next chapter we find out that it goes straight to Eragon, and everybody knows that because these are the Eragon books. But yeah, it's a very short prologue, and it's pretty easy to summarize, but I have a lot of notes on it because it's so funny. The shade is so like my first evil OC, do not steal. I think they did a really good job with him in the movie. He looks really fucked up and scary. I have the version of, we all have our books here with us at the moment, but I have the version of Eragon that is the movie version, and so everybody looks insane and totally wrong. The elven woman, who we later learn is Arya, she's ginger in the movie for some reason.
You can share her name, but...
I'm sorry, it's a huge reveal when you get the shade. So yeah, I've got, I noticed that all his spells are like red and evil, which was
they're all
funny.
Square kilometre of the forest on fire, shoot fireballs.
There's a section where he's like, after he's failed or whatever, and all the oracles are just standing around, he shoots like 5 bolts of
I believe
red
it is
energy.
9 bolts of lightning and kills
Out of
every
he's just so mad, he's like, die, and like shoots them with red lightning.
Yeah, and now he has to carry this unconscious woman himself. He killed all his guys.
That's something, I think the characterization of the Shade is pretty good, even just in the prologue, because he is an awful, like, poorly controlled brat who like really acts on his emotions, and that comes across pretty well even in this like short passage. I thought that was really fun. But no, all of his spells are described as like a red fireball, the red flames, red lightning, and it's like, I get it, he's the evil guy. I also have that the amount of magic being used here versus how mundane Eragon's life is and how shit he is when he starts to like learn magic and stuff does a pretty good job of emphasizing just how powerful the Shade is as like an enemy, and I think it sets up, like, in context with the rest of the book, it sets up pretty good stakes.
Yeah, let's go to the description of chapter 2 before we go into that.
Right.
Yeah, let's do
deep
that.
dive.
I think we should do full summary, brief summary plot of each of the 3 chapters and then discuss.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Otherwise we'll forget.
I can do that description again then. We can cut.
No,
It's
fine.
episode 1, it's messy.
Fix it in post. Then we have chapter 1, which is Discovery, which is really short and starts with a very, very, very detailed description of the clearing that Eragon is in. Well, it starts with Eragon hunting a deer through the woods. Yeah, he's creeping around in the mist for a while. We get an extremely detailed description of his outfit and kind of the vibe of the location. He's stalking a herd of deer through this mountainous region called the Spine, and eventually when they kind of bed down for the night, he goes to kill one of them because he's a cool hunter guy with a bow and arrow, the sickest weapon ever to be invented. And instead of that, there is a gigantic explosion, and they all, I guess they run away.
Yeah, they all run away, and then for some reason he runs forward a bit and then shoots his arrow.
Yeah.
Like, it's explicitly he runs into the clearing, bow drawn.
Yeah, it's a little, his whole reaction to this is really weird.
He forgets how to use a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
Straight up,
There's a big explosion, it's magic.
So there's big explosion, and all the deer run away. But the way that I'll get into that later. All the deer run away, and there's a stone in the centre of the clearing, which he, hums and ha's about keeping, and then keeps. It's, again, super short. Not a lot happens. There's so much descriptive prose here.
That stone's probably going to be important in the future.
So the stone that got teleported by the elf shows up where he is, and he finds it, and he goes, I think this might be worth a little bit of money, and all my hunting is been for naught because the deer ran away, so he grabs it and he heads home. Start of chapter 2, which is the Palancar Valley, is like, the first half of it is him walking down a mountain. Which was thrilling. But yeah, he shows up in town after his unsuccessful hunt and goes straight to the butcher shop to try and sell the stone for meat because his family is going to starve in the winter if he doesn't. He gets into a serious argument with the butcher, Sloane, so much so that it has to be intervened by Horst, who's the town smith. Sloane is...
And by Sloane's daughter.
And by Sloane's daughter, Katrina, yeah. So they show up and kind of dispel things a little bit after he freaks out upon learning that the stone is from the spine. And then Horst pays for all of his groceries and to fill his pack up with meat, and says, pay me back by being my apprentice when my son leaves town. And then he goes home to his weird uncle, and goes to sleep.
Yeah.
And that is, not a lot happens in these first 3 chapters, but they are super fun. And I guess we'll get into everybody's thoughts. Yeah, I thought that the prologue was like fun, just like a really good way of setting up our evil guy. I don't think you need to be holding the orb up that high anymore.
Well, I think we all need to not be throwing it on the mic.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
I thought the description was good.
Yeah, he's got a lot of descriptive prose going on.
Yeah, he's got a lot of descriptive prose. I find it a little funny every time a character is introduced and he's got like his bullet points of what they look like and they're barely expanded from bullet points. It's very endearing. It's like, here's this guy, he's wearing a cotton shirt and he's wearing and you know he's a smith because he's wearing the smithing apron over his cotton shirt, and
he's got a big thick neck.
He's got a big, you know he's a smith because he's got a thick neck. It's very endearing. It's just like such a teenage view of the world. Like, why is the smith wearing his smithing apron outside of the forge? It's so you know he's the smith.
A lot of
Eragon knows he's the smith. He can just tell us that. But it's very endearing that he's wearing that.
Yeah, a lot of the I guess descriptions of the way that adults behave, even just in these first 3 chapters, are so... We are reading this from the knowledge that Christopher Paolini was 15 when he wrote this book, so I guess I'm being pretty nice to it.
And for context, we are all 24, 25 right now.
I have previously been 15, but no longer. But yeah, his descriptions of people and the way that adults interact with not just each other, but especially Eragon is so, like... It's bizarre, but
you are an adult talking to a child.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it's so, like, knowing, like, his background as being homeschooled and, like a homeschool prodigy, and being so bored with his life because he was grew up in like Montana, I think it was.
He was digging holes in the backyard.
And he lived so far away from town that he couldn't like go there himself. So during the day when he was like, you know, graduated high school early from homeschool and was so bored, he was literally digging a pit in the backyard for something to do before he wrote this book. Like, the context is so...
Yeah, everybody speaks to each other in a very stilted and really direct kind of way.
Yeah, it's like... Yeah, you spend all your time with... I think he's got a brother, maybe, like with just your parents and your brother.
Oh, yeah. Also, the way that Eragon is just an author insert is so evident. I've got...
I mean, when I was 15, I was writing stuff like that as well, you know?
It's not a bad thing at all.
It's not a bad thing.
No, I think it's very sweet now.
It's very, very cute. So I've got I've got notes that I was writing... as I was reading, and then I've got notes that I was doing on my second reread. My realization that he's 15.
On the cusp of manhood.
On the cusp of man. Baby girl, you are 15 years old. I thought I had gaslight girl bossed myself into thinking that he was 17 this whole time, but he's 15 years old, which is fucked up. Also, it described him as being having dark eyebrows and intense brown eyes, and then I flicked to the photograph of Christopher Paolini in the back of the book and went,
to be 15 and on the cusp of manhood.
Oh, God.
I'm 24 and I don't feel like I'm there yet.
Not there yet.
Bro, I'm so sorry, but you're 25.
Buddy, it was a couple of weeks ago.
I've got a full-time job and everything.
Yeah, which means Eragon's not blonde.
No, he is not blonde.
In the film, he's blonde.
In the film, he's blonde. That's been my mental image of
and
the whole time.
Imagine reading these books, but you had this image staring at you the whole time.
Oh, I did not have that experience.
No, you didn't have any.
I think I read them for the first time before the film.
Really?
Yeah, and I saw the film. I saw it once.
I think I actively didn't see the film.
It was not good.
It sucks.
And then I forgot everything about it.
But still, I had the image that he's a blonde boy.
Yeah, I thought he was blonde, for real.
The other number that sticks out is that his house is 10 miles away from town.
Oh my god, I've got...
And he's walking.
and he's... And
it's night.
and it's nighttime, but there's the, where is it?
He's saying, "Oh, I need to feed my family. I gotta go take them this meat. Don't worry, my uncle, I'll be there in 3 hours."
Yeah. It's like, it's
I don't know how long it takes to walk 10 miles.
20 kilometers.
I don't know.
20
basically.
Ks. I think it's 16.
Something like that.
Where is it?
That's something we should keep an eye out to do conversions ahead of time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny to grumble over the internet about the conversion from metric to imperial, though.
It is. Well, Imperial's stupid, simply.
Yeah, it's stupid. We don't know how far that was. I know that a 10-minute mile is a kind of good run time.
Yeah.
So, like, walking 10 miles must be quite a while.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, so there's the... People considered the distance dangerous because the family could not rely on help from the village in times of trouble, which is like extremely obvious foreshadowing for later. It's also just like Aragon is such an author insert, especially in these early chapters. He's living ages out of town. He's like there with one older male companion.
Yeah, it's 16 kilometers.
Oh my god, that's so far to walk with so much meat in your backpack.
And a big rock.
Oh my god, and a huge rock. Can we talk about the argument he gets into with Sloane? Can we talk about Sloane for a second?
Sloane's
let's
so
talk about
crazy.
Sloane is insane.
Sloane is insane for a long time in the book, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sloane never gets better.
No.
I don't think.
He gets much worse.
He gets actively worse.
He gets actively worse. He's a weird guy in the first couple of chapters, and then later he becomes fully evil.
Yeah.
But just his reaction to Aragon even entering his store is so like, ugh, you scum! How could, like, why are you in here? Like, you own a shop.
How dare you? You're a hunter. You should have brought food with you.
Yeah, he
Oh,
makes fun
great
of him.
hunter! Did you not bring back your spoils? It's like,
Clearly not.
Clearly
it's
not.
15.
This dude's 15.
Yeah, you're like a grown man with a child.
Yeah, I can't-
his age, older than him.
A grown child. If Aragon's on the cusp of manhood, she's a woman.
Yeah, she's Katrina's 16. So
Does she have
ancient.
to be
I think
17?
she's 17.
I think it said 16.
I don't remember what it said. I thought she was the same age as Auroran.
I think she's a little bit younger than Roran. But yeah, so he goes there and he gets into like just a crazy argument with this guy.
Yeah.
Who is he tries to sell him the stone and he's being undersold so much.
I will give you 3 crowns.
Literally.
I don't know what crowns is supposed to convert to.
I don't
Yeah.
think it's dollars.
Well, if it gives him
No.
enough meat for 3 people for a week.
That's like 100 New Zealand dollars.
In this economy?
In this economy? No, it's like, I would say they're probably like $50.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if currency comes up again in this book.
I'm sure it does. I'm sure it's not very internally consistent.
no, he's mostly
I
just
don't
eating
think we
grass on
need
the
to worry
roadside.
too much about it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Saphira's just catching them stuff the whole
Yeah.
time.
You don't really need
Spoilers.
to... I mean, who?
Yeah, but he just is like, I can't remember why he hates him so much, and if it like really comes up, I mean, it must come up because he hates him.
And
No,
specifically...
it comes up in that chapter.
No, he... Okay.
No, he hates that the stone was from the spine,
Oh, but
and we
not
learn
about
why.
Aragon
And we
himself.
learn why in the second chapter, why he hates the spine.
Yeah.
In like barely a paragraph,
It's like one
which
line.
is so vague.
His wife.
His wife went over the falls. What do you like?
Did she fall over? Did she kill herself?
Yeah, it's so
very
like
vague.
he hates the spine. I don't know how to interpret that. It's like, does
I
he hate
think
the
it's
spine
like-
because she killed herself there, or is it some kind of mystery?
I think she would have been hiking up there and fell.
And just fallen,
Yeah.
yeah. Or like, does he think she got bewitched by the mountains or something?
Yeah, because it said that everyone except Aragon has misadventures and misfortunes.
Yeah, everyone
Yeah.
thinks it's magic and evil.
But because Aragon is so clear-headed and is paying good attention to his surroundings, it's fine for him to be there.
I think he's
Such a special
empty-headed.
boy. He's so so stupid.
I think he's not thinking at all. And I hope this doesn't reflect on our wonderful author, Christopher Paolini.
I don't think Aragorn can read or write, so...
He can't. He learns to read later.
Oh my god.
He learns to read and write on the road. He's literally illiterate.
But he's a hunter. And
He's a hunter. He doesn't need to read. They've got an oral storyteller in the village. Spoilers.
We'll come back to that.
Oh boy, did I have one.
Yeah, also, like, that bit where Sloane is so upset by the argument where he fully just cuts himself on his knife, doesn't notice, and just starts scrubbing blood everywhere. It's like...
Yeah.
That's a really good image.
It's a good image, but he's describing a genuinely insane person.
Oh, yeah.
He also just is like, he starts scrubbing a blood-stained knife.
What? Yeah.
What do you mean
kind of blood is that?
What do you mean a blood-stained knife? He's a butcher.
It shouldn't be
Like,
blood-stained
he shouldn't
at
be
all.
leaving, like, that's his livelihood.
Yeah.
Like, he wouldn't just leave that to rust and dry up with grime or whatever.
Yeah, and I don't expect a child to have super in-depth knowledge of how butchering works, but you drain an animal of blood before you start butchering it. That's kind of like a huge part of the process.
Well, maybe he cuts himself on these knives pretty often.
He's cutting himself on his knives every day. And he's like, oh man, I cut myself, and he puts his knife down and forgets till the next day.
He picks up another knife.
He also threatens Aragorn's life in this chapter.
Yeah, he says, Aragorn, I'll fucking kill you.
I'll make you leave. Yeah, so the vibe in the town seems kind of rancid and tempestuous. Like, Sloane threatens Aragorn's life, and then later when Horst comes in, he says, oh, I can't get him to leave. I even threatened him. Like, it's like a normal thing to do.
Thing.
Yeah, and then Horst is like threatening him with like social consequences. Like, it'll be bad for you if you refuse to sell to me. Like,
yeah, like,
because he's kind of like a little bit of a leader in the village.
Horst is kind of like kind of the king of the village.
He's the biggest guy with the biggest muscles.
With the biggest neck.
And the biggest beard.
His unkempt neck.
He's described kind of dilfy. He's like,
he's busting out of his shirt. He's got his chest hair out.
Yeah. It's like he's kind of like a busty babe for a second. I wrote down that he was described very dilfily with his boobs out. For like no reason. I remember really liking Horst as a kid. I thought he was really cool. But it seems like everybody hates Sloane, and he's turned around and become a really bad guy because of that. He's also described as very small and like sallow, and I think it might be just movie warping, but I remember him being like kind of a imposing figure.
Yeah, I remembered him being... I think that I just might be like just stereotyped and like...
Yeah, I thought he was just like a big sleazy guy.
I assumed he was like, you know, big old guy with the cleaver.
Yeah, a butcher stereotype.
A butcher, but he's
a little rat man.
He's like a little guy.
I don't think he should be a little guy with like a butcher job.
I think it's way funnier if he's tiny.
I think it's kind of funny that
he's got a little bit of small man syndrome.
You got this little freak scurrying around your town.
Oh no. But his daughter's tall.
Maybe his wife was...
He was like...
I think his wife was really hot.
Tyler Wan.
Oh my god. I'm looking up. No, I think like we get more descriptions of his family life kind of later in the series, and I think his wife ruled and hated him and killed herself.
Little fun fact. I love the detail that during this bit when his daughter has come in and she's brought Horst with her to disrupt this fight, and she does a hair flip and it like splays out and catches like the dying light of the sun in her beautiful auburn locks. And then she just leaves.
She's like, okay, peace.
Aragorn's looking. That's all Aragorn sees in that scene.
No, oh my god, and the message that Roran gave him to give the child is so cute.
It's so sweet.
Do I have it? Oh no, I don't have the message, but it's like, tell her that I'll be in town and that she's the most beautiful girl in the world. And Katrina's gone, so he has to tell Horst, and it's like, what's Horst gonna do with
this? Horst is gonna have to tell her because Aragorn's gonna walk 10 miles uphill both ways.
But it's like, that's not his daughter. How often is he seeing this girl, like this other person's
Well, she ran away to go grab him, right?
Yeah.
To go intervene.
Maybe they hang out. Maybe she has tea with his wife or something.
Yeah.
We don't really meet many women at all, so there's like two of the known women in the town. So
Carnival
maybe
is kind of like village of men, village of gays. There are, I think, 3 women.
Yeah.
They all seem to mysteriously die or kill themselves, or etc., etc.
Yeah.
I think it sucks.
I think maybe it's the curse of the spine.
Boys club only.
We hate the spine because all our women keep going out there. They never come back.
And they go over the
Over the waterfalls.
over the falls.
I think it's so cute that he remembered the message for the whole week he was away.
I just like.
So was he out hunting for a whole week?
Yeah, he was out hunting. He was hunting for 3 days and was like, if I don't catch the deer today, I got to turn back around. Which, frankly, it seems like you could travel a little bit faster if you're not actively hunting on the way back. But yeah, he's hunting for a week, which does Roran not? I mean, I know it's a wee ways to town, but Roran can't go there in that entire week at any point.
Well, I mean, Garrow's so weird, so maybe.
Garrow's so weird.
Can I I want to read the description that they give us of Garrow, because he's
crazy.
He's described like a villain.
He's described like a lich.
As if he's been half mummified, but until someone realised he was still alive.
Where is it?
Thank you
for
that
the
stuck with me. And he's like a miser, and he won't take charity.
Yeah, he's a real freak.
And he lives 10 miles out of town and refuses to be part of the town culture.
Yeah, this is... Okay, so I'm going to read it. This is not the way you describe a guy you want your readers to like. Garrow stood with his hand on the door. His worn clothes hung on him like rags on a stick frame. A lean, hungry face with an intense gaze... with intense eyes gazed out from under greying hair. He looked like a man who had been partially mummified before it was discovered that he was still alive. What's wrong with this guy?
Yeah.
What was the authorial intent there? Are we supposed to not like him?
It's so strange.
And the way he behaves when Aragorn gets back is...
Yeah. It's so Aragorn comes back and he's like, hey, I got us all this meat.
I am providing for our family.
Yeah, horse.
And only I can do this.
Well, yeah, he's like, horse bought it for us, but it's not charity, I swear, because I'm going to work it off. And he's immediately like, well, how are you going to work it off if you're working for me? Bro? He was just away for a week and you were fine.
Yeah. And also
maybe he wasn't fine. Maybe he was starving to death there.
Yeah, maybe that's why he looks like such a freak.
He looks like that because he hasn't eaten for a
Roran's
week.
not doing anything.
And Roran's face down in his bed, dying.
Yeah, they need to... What do they need to? They need to harvest the Swedes
the
before
barley
the
and the
frost.
squash, I think it was.
Squash.
But yeah, he treats him so aggressively when he gets back.
Yeah, my memories of them are that they had a really tender and loving relationship, like a real father-son connection.
But he's really mean to him.
Yeah.
He's not concerned at all about... he tells it. There's a short sentence where he tells him about what happened, seeing a magic. We haven't even got into that. Seeing a magic.
Oh my god, he's so chill about the magic.
He's so chill about
the magic. They both are.
Yeah, and then Garrow's like, okay, cool. How much do you think it will sell for?
And he's like a caricature, like an anti-Semitic caricature, hunched over this rock, gripping it.
It's really weird.
He is ready to sell that rock for some money.
Well, I mean, he's dying,
He's
so
dying.
Something's clearly wrong with him.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear that they don't have a lot of money, but I feel like this is very, I don't know, weird typecasting for
it's just odd.
It's a strange image to have of people who are living in poverty, I guess, but he's just he's written so strangely. His behavior is really weird. And he's just he's an asshole.
Yeah, and he doesn't care. This apprenticeship could be a serious turn your life around situation. You're in a town with one blacksmith and he's gonna apprentice you.
Yeah, and
that's a huge deal for Aragorn.
And it's old timey times.
Yeah, everyone needs
smithing is huge.
Yeah, because Horster's training up his 2 sons, A and B.
Bogdor
and Agrian or something.
I'll have a little look.
Well, one of them's going away, so
he's going to the next village.
To become a master.
I think we see him again, right? Or we hear from him?
I think he's in the second book. I always go to call the second book Thorn, but that's not the name of it at all. It's just the guy who's on the front. But yeah, I don't know. He was just the nonchalance about magic, I think, is very strange. Because obviously these people live in a magical world where people can cast spells and stuff.
Well, no one near them.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody my beef was kind of like, has Aragorn ever seen magic before in his life?
It kind of sounded like
shouldn't have.
He shouldn't
There's
have,
no
right?
way he should have, right?
I'm pretty sure he hasn't.
And he's so chill when
There's just
something
an
gets...
explosion in the entire forest for like square miles or whatever.
Yeah, like something gets explosively teleported in front of him, and he's like a little bit like, that's really weird. And
cool
then
rock.
yeah, oh, I bet this will get me lots of crowns from the traders. And then he just bails. Like,
I found their kids.
oh, what are their names?
His sons are called Albrich and Baldur, like Baldur's Gate. A and B.
And B.
My older son A is off to the next town to become a master smith.
Yeah, but like, so I've got to hear that he thinks for like 10 seconds before taking the rock.
No, because he waits for like 3 minutes, and it specifically says he has the bow drawn the entire time.
Oh my god, he's so
So
strong.
he's like Popeye.
He's like shaking, but also he thinks about like why it was sent, or if it was sent for him.
He specifically thinks this is a rock that was here for me.
Yeah.
I've heard prophecies. I've heard the tales. I knew this day would
Oh,
come.
it's made for me.
Yeah, exactly. But he doesn't think no thoughts to who might have sent it, or if they
Yeah.
might want it back. But I think this is good sowing seeds for how much of a moron he is.
He's just
in
like,
general.
oh, chill.
Yeah, sick, cool, free rock.
This is like, okay, I guess I lost the deer, but like that's okay. I've got this
Yeah.
rock.
I remember when I was a little,
And it's like really light, but
He does
But
know
that's
that the
nothing.
rock is worth as much as a deer, if not more.
yeah.
well, since he said 3 crowns, it's worth at least 10 times that. I think he knows that it's worth a lot more than a deer.
Oh yeah.
But he still didn't seem too like
It did still teleport into the forest in front of him with a big
like
explosion.
directly in front of him with an explosion and stuff's on fire, and he's like stands there for 3 minutes and is like, yeah, all right.
Cool.
Yeah, what I thought was kind of an oversight with the like explosion was, how did they not kill any of the deer?
Yeah, he should have been like, hell yeah.
He's sick. There's 4 dead deer here.
He should have been like distraught that he couldn't take all his dead deer with him.
4 dead deer and a cool rock. What a week.
Yeah, everyone's way too chill about magic. Like, it's a world where somebody can say a word and cause you to have a brain aneurysm and die.
Yeah. It's weird where you can say a word and have a brain aneurysm and die. But yeah, like they shouldn't. Like magic exists and they know that. But like the only people who do magic are the elves who have been hiding in the
their
woods.
ethno-state for...
Yeah, they've been in the elven ethno-state for... I can't remember what the timeline of the
Like 100
precursor...
years or something?
Yeah, like not in the lifetime of any of these people. And the evil king... And he just hangs out in his castle being an evil king. Those are the only people...
And like shades and stuff, but...
Oh, and shades.
But they're kind of like...
But they're like...
myth.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal with shades is. There's not many of those.
No.
It's not like... Oh yeah, Timmy down the street can levitate a rock.
Yeah. And I don't know, if your country was ruled by an evil sorcerer who had never died and was really, really, really evil and killing everybody, and then some magic can happen in front of you and you know he's
Yeah.
the only guy who knows how to do magic, I think you'd start freaking out a little bit more.
I don't think that he knows that their king is like super evil.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're in their little town where nothing affects them.
Yeah, the
they're-
soldier-
They know
Carnival's,
like the, they know like
specifically-
the tales because Brom's telling them tales of the riders and stuff. But I'm pretty sure that telling people about what happened to the riders is like not allowed. So it's their like little secret. And now look at me, Sonny Jim. I'm gonna tell you about a war crime.
About a lot of war crimes.
Your history teacher being like, "Now I'm not supposed to show you this, but look, check it out." And they show you an evil video.
I'm pretty sure it said that Carver Hall is like specifically not touched by the evil that rules
because it's
the
extremely
entire
far away.
land.
Yeah, and it's near those
I'm
scary
pretty
mountains.
sure it's like between 2 sets of mountains. You have to go down because it's in that big valley.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You have
yeah.
to go down a really long valley
We got a
to
map
get to
here?
the.
We've
got a
There's a
map.
map.
So
Oh,
glad
bro,
this
you
book
know
came with
there's a map.
Oh yeah, it's... let me lift the orb up.
Yeah,
Oh, it's Complo.
they're way up here, and you have to come all the way down.
Yeah, so...
The nearest like city is the port city.
It's on the coast, yeah, so you have to... Some of
We should take the orbs remote with us.
We should.
This is
Yeah,
a
so
little bit.
they're really deep in this valley here.
Yeah.
Which is topped by a lake, and then it's got this little mountain range here. Which I'm sure this makes for great listening. But yeah, they're definitely kind of tucked away.
We can add a link to the map in the show notes.
They're hard. I don't think there's like any Empire stuff shows up for quite a while.
Yeah, no, that's why everyone's like really weirded out. Like the only contact they get from outside is when the travelers come. Kind of weird that the travelers come in winter and spring. I thought that was a little odd. Why is that their routine?
Yeah, you'd think you come in like less harsh months.
Yeah, or
like
twice a like. Why is it twice a year but kind of close together?
Yeah, actually, hold on. You'd think they'd come
You
in
would
like
think they
autumn
would come
and
in
spring.
autumn to sell you stuff and then come in spring to buy stuff.
Yeah.
But it's winter, and I don't think this matters at all.
It's
but
just not very well thought. I think it's because
it stuck out to me because I was like, well, why are they doing that?
Just because winter is sooner.
Yeah, I think it literally is just because
literally so that they come soon.
winter is like happening, and they'd like it to.
The struggle.
Traders come
winter.
next chapter, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just. This book's a lot weirder than I remember. Just like the.
I think we're looking into it a bit too much.
I don't know. It's.
This is the amount we're going to look into
This is
it.
a book podcast, Nick.
Oh, hell yeah.
This is how it goes.
I don't know, I thought we were reliving, like, enjoying a nice little
This
young
is
adult fantasy
enjoying.
book. This is enjoying?
Deeply enjoying
hell
this.
yeah.
I love the prose. I love the way it's written.
I love getting your little bullet points about every guy when they come in.
Yes. The way
Even when they're fucking weird as hell.
the way that the elves are described is really funny because he just describes their outfits and not what they look like, and then they die.
Oh my god, yeah, I love that they like change they take a moment, they're like, okay, change our positioning, and then they continue, and then they get shot down instantly.
I thought the depiction of the Urgles was really interesting.
Yeah.
Especially because I know you haven't read like the second book in like a long time, but
Long time.
from there on they definitely here they're just monsters, right? They're like orcs.
But they become more like
they
more
get
guys.
really cool. I love the Urgles. They're like one of my favorite parts of the books.
Yeah, I don't remember them too well.
But yeah, here they're horrible, incredibly stinky beast men.
Yeah, why are they so stinky?
Why do they stink so much?
I like that they have little ears.
Little tiny little
It makes a point in that you know that the horns come out above their little ears.
Little ears.
Yeah, but they stink so bad that it freaks horses out, which I think is kind of, if
Weird.
you're an ambush type guy, then that's kind of counterproductive.
Oh,
Also,
I
if
don't know
you're
that
doing
they're
an
always
ambush-
ambush type guys.
The other guy's an ambush type guy
Yeah, the
most of
shade's
the
into
time.
ambush.
Yeah, and he shouldn't have brought these guys along with them if he knew
He
they were going to
didn't
give
really
them away.
need them to. Well, he needed them to fire 9 arrows at once.
Well, then he shot them with 9 bolts of lightning all at once.
Oh my god,
So
what
he
does
probably
it
could have
mean?
just done that himself.
Yeah, I just,
Yeah, I mean, because he ended up shooting Arya with the bolt of magic at the end anyway.
yeah, he shot her with fireball,
He shot her with like explosive trank.
and she was
Yeah.
fine.
She gets better.
Yeah, she's not for all. She gets
Well,
pretty
not for a
bad
while.
before she
Yeah.
gets better. What else was I
But
thinking
she's
about?
just unconscious for almost this entire book. It's so funny.
It's so insane. I'm not like.
I'm looking forward to getting to that.
I'm looking forward to getting to the book.
Oh, are you looking forward to the many chapters of crossing the desert?
Oh, maybe
No.
we can combine a few
We
of those.
might combine a few
Yeah,
chapters
we
for
might
that
because those suck.
oh my god, they're crossing. Well, if you look at the map, the desert's pretty big. They take their time.
They are really, really.
Actually, they cross it incredibly quickly in universe. Their horses would have fucking died.
Yes.
But-
Yeah,
They drive their
they would have
horses
killed
so hard.
so many horses.
They're also crossing a river for a really long time, if I remember correctly. Like,
I think if we're doing this more, like, only once every 2 weeks, we could probably go for more chapters.
probably. It just
Yeah.
depends how much I think happens in every chapter.
yeah.
Because I don't know that we have that much more to talk about with these ones.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
we
I
should-
did write down that Aragorn enjoys a Skyrim meal. And
his
Nice little
cold
Skyrim
meal.
his cold meal of bread and cheese, Skyrim meal. That was delicious for him.
This is pre-Skyrim. That's an Aragon meal.
Oh my god, Skyrim has Aragorn meals. Yeah, maybe I took too many notes.
No, I intended to take that many notes.
Yeah, that's a good amount of notes.
That's what I had hoped to do, but then I was just so sleepy.
I was sleeping.
It's not the book's fault. I shouldn't have read it in my bed. No, I intend to take notes. I just don't know what note. Well, the thing is, I can't buy another notebook because I got so many of them.
Just use one that you half used.
You said
Well,
you
I'm
considered
currently
annotating the
using
book.
all of them.
I was considering annotating.
I was
but got too
considering
much.
annotating. I think I will. I think I'm gonna like highlight and stuff.
I've
Just
got
with
like
pencil,
a whole
but-
bunch of sticky notes,
Ah,
which you could use like to put next to lines or whatever.
yeah. But no, I have so many Well, the thing is that I have 3 different notebooks for D&D campaigns. They're all being used. And then I have my old notebook for a D&D campaign. And then I have my class notebook, which I'm not putting my Aragon notes in my book that I pull out in class.
That'd be pretty funny.
So what can we say to wrap this up?
I'm not sure. Oh, I have one more point.
Yeah, go on.
Is that I think these first few chapters plus the like upcoming ones do a solid job at setting up Eragon's place in the world, which increases the impact of him having to bail later.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, for me, when I was reading it as a kid, the call to action part of the book later, like, you know, when shit, like, blows up, literally, being really, really effective. And I think it's because it does a good job of setting up Carvajal as a place in general, and also Eragon's future as, like, a member of the community. It's like it's clumsy and written by a child, but it does a pretty good job of that. And yeah, I won't go too much into what happens in the next chapters, but I remember them being
They're
very
pretty
effective.
good.
Yeah.
I reread this book. I can't remember. I think I finished it. I reread this book like at the end of last year, so I know what happens in this one pretty well, and it was pretty good, except for the desert. A much less intellectual point. But you know how he makes a big note about how there's little like cute little plumes of white smoke coming out of every house. But out of Sloane's, it's black.
Yes.
What's
Oh my
he doing?
God.
What's he burning in there?
I noticed that as well. I was like, oh, so like his house is described as like good levels. His house is described as like
We'll
stout
fix it in
and
post.
like low and belching black because he's little and belching black smoke. And I was like,
he
like I get it.
doing?
He's evil.
He's so evil.
Yeah.
He's so
It's belching
evil.
black smoke. I don't even know what you have to burn to get black smoke.
Yeah.
Is he like putting all his beef fat in there?
He's probably burning the
Like-
bones, but he's also described as like an insane clean freak, which I
his
think.
bloodstained knives.
Yeah, well, it's described as like the location his butcher shop is
It's like pristine.
it's pristine,
Yeah.
as if someone's been digging in obscure corners for any speck of dirt and shit like that. And he's like, I don't know, he's very he's kind of female hysteria coded. I don't know. He's very like.
Oh my god, is Sloane the Butcher clear coded?
Whoa, hold on. Brand new reading. But yeah, he's a total freak, and if I remember correctly, he stays that way the whole time.
He gets worse.
He gets worse. I'm
gets
really
worse.
excited for it. Because he's one of the, I think, only unabashedly evil guys. So many people are just like, he discovered grey morality at some point, and everyone gets their little tragic backstory when
He just kind of sucks.
But
my
Sloane
motivation
is
is
the first guy to
just
be
like-
evil.
he just is like a rat bastard for basically no reason. It's great.
Now the reason is because his wife went over the falls.
God. The Falls have a really stupid name as well. I feel like he didn't say a lot of these out loud when he was writing them. It's like Ingudala or something. His wife also has a stupid name, but I can't remember that either. Because that's what I'm dreading about this podcast is so many words in this book I kind of just skidded over when I was reading it because I
There
couldn't
is the
be bothered.
pronunciation guide, but that only
Yeah.
goes so far. There's like a lot of
That'll
names in
tell
there.
us how to
but-
say the ancient language stuff.
Oh, great.
yeah.
And we can cast a spell and blow ourselves up.
Yeah.
Where is it?
It's gonna
Dwarven
tell you
language,
about
Oracle language,
Shuriken.
Ancient language. Here we go.
Are there names in there?
Not of the waterfall. Carvajal's there, and and none of these other words have been mentioned.
Yeah.
Who's Term?
Yeah, that's a town. I think that's the port town.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, where is this waterfall? I will find it.
Starts with A.
Gorged with hundreds of tiny streams. The river's called the Enora River.
That's a harmless name.
That's fine.
That's fine, yeah. Oh, here it is.
Would you like the light?
Igualda. How would you say
Igulda?
that? Igulda?
Where is that?
I'm on page 18.
Oh, that's way later than where I am. What?
It mentions
We're on different. We have different page numbers.
Yeah. Oh, do you?
Yeah, no. Page 18 is the end of chapter 1 from chapter 2 for me.
Huh.
That's where I am.
Where is it?
It's where Garrow mentions.
Oh, so he walks past the waterfall and doesn't think about what it's called?
He does. I just knew that I knew where this was, so I went to it.
No, because I was just there and it didn't say.
Oh no, he doesn't say what the waterfall is.
He's just like, there's a big waterfall.
Garrow
Yeah.
just says like, Sloane's wife went over the falls.
He says it really kind of meanly as well.
Yeah.
He shrugs. God, Garrow sucks.
What's the wife's name?
Her name is Ismira.
Ismira went over the
Oh, yeah, because she's
Igualda
got like an
falls.
elf name. I remember that.
Yeah, for
For no reason.
For no reason.
for no reason.
I think. I think that would be kind of a big twist if there was.
Katrina can't be half elf. She'd be more important to the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do Half-elves even exist?
I don't know.
Probably not.
Aragorn kind of well, I won't,
well.
I won't say.
That's not natural.
That boy ain't right.
I don't think. I'm not sure if they're the same species. I don't know if they could interbreed.
They're both definitely mammals, but apart from that, no
Are
idea.
you sure?
They could just be trees. Sometimes elves are just trees.
There's that one elf bitch who became that big tree in the middle of town.
She fucking walloped. Didn't she nearly kill him?
Yeah, she walloped the hell. She almost killed him and Saphira. She turned herself
oh,
into
wait.
a big tree because her younger husband left her. She was like cougering this guy and he traded her in for a newer model and she turned into a big tree about it. I'm not even this is barely even in the books. I was on the wiki a while ago and I learned about this.
I think you're gonna eat your words, bro. The elf sections are so long. He's in that elf city doing fuck all for like half a book.
Yeah,
No, I
but
think I remember
I've
that.
read the section where they talk about this and it's just like, oh, there's a myth that this happened. It's really brief.
That's it.
Like the wiki page is the entire story.
I'm so glad that these books had such like a dedicated fan base. That there's such a filled out wiki.
The Inheritance wiki.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Bro, every child from like a 10 to 12
Yeah.
who like dragons.
Oh, should we talk about the new one, the remake that's happening?
Oh my god, the show. I don't actually know very much about it.
I don't know anything about it.
I think maybe we've said all we have to say about these
three
introductory
chapters.
chapters that say nothing.
We've been on for an hour.
Have we?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, so next week we have to look
We've
forward
got Dragon Tales.
We have
Dragon
Dragon Tales. Woohoo! We've got Dragon Tales, we've got Fate's Gift, and we've got Awakening. I'm pretty sure someone's waking up in Awakening, and I'm thrilled to see who that's going to be.
I want to hear some tales about some dragons.
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
Dragon
I'm so
Tales
excited for Dragon Tales.
is-
It's really long.
It's like 15 pages long, and I think most of it is Brom talking, which is fine. We get to meet Brom.
You get to
oh
meet
my god,
Brom.
because it's literally tales about dragons.
So yeah.
I was like, oh holy shit, how epic. They really like get to it, huh? Oh no.
Oh no.
You get a lore dump about dragon riders, is what you get.
Well, that's okay. That's important.
That's very important.
I love Dragon Riders.
But yeah, we have a lot to look forward to next time. I'm really excited to get to know Aragorn as a stupid teenager again. I'm very excited to meet Brom. I love Brom so much. I think he rules. Yeah.
He's so funny. Why'd you live your life like that, bro?
Oh, why is he choosing to do all of these things?
He literally did choose to do that. So embarrassing for him. Most of his life so embarrassing for him. Alright, we don't have a sign off.
We don't have a
We don't have
sign
a
off.
We'll just trail off.
We'll
Go
come
on.
up with one. This has been E is for Dragon.
And yeah, we'll catch you next
Catch ya
time.
on the flip side.
Wahoo!